Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Paplowski, and I'm with some esteemed colleagues here to join you for a great discussion around those lazy, hazy days of summer. We are going to kind of get started, kind of right on time. For those of you who are joining on this webinar, welcome. And for those of you who are participating at a later time and listening to this, maybe kicking back with some ear pods at a beach somewhere or in your living room or back patio or wherever you are, happy summer to you. And for those of you who are with us, we want you to be able to participate in this conversation too, and I'll tell you how in just a minute. But before I get started with this, as I said, my name is Karen Paplowski. I am the Chief Programs Officer for Responsive Classroom. So I have the honor and privilege of overseeing the great content and workshops that we get to be able to work with our wonderful consulting teachers and presenters to support educators as they learn the responsive classroom approach. And so I'm really excited to be here. Summer's a great time, and we have so many people who spend their summers with us, but we also want to honor that summer is the time that teachers need to rewind and regroup. You all do the most amazing, hardest work there is. So with that, I am joined with four wonderful colleagues who are spending their summer evenings here with you to talk about just some things and ways they're planning on spending the summer to refill their teacher cup. And so I will turn it over first to Julie Kelly to introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Julie Kelly, and I'm coming to you from the state of Maryland. And we just had our summer thunderstorm roll right through, so hopefully it won't impact me being on for the rest of the evening. I have 23 years of experience in education. I started as a special area teacher, moved to classroom teacher, and most recently I served as an assistant principal. So welcome to tonight, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Hi everyone, I'm Beth Osgood. I'm coming to you from Meredith, New Hampshire. I was a second and third grade teacher for 25 years. I left the classroom a few years ago to explore other avenues in education, and that led me to Responsive Classroom as a consulting teacher. I'm also an executive function coach, so I work with students one-on-one online with executive function skills. So I'm really happy to be here with you all tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia Monke. I'm calling in from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have spent the last 11 years teaching both kindergarten and first grade, and right now I teach first grade in Minneapolis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Allison Story, and I'm calling in from Sandy Hook, Connecticut. I'm just about to wrap up my 20th year in education. I started as a classroom teacher in third grade primarily, and then I left the classroom to become a math coach and interventionist. And most recently, I was an assistant principal of an elementary school, and I'm about to embark on being the head campus principal of 2 elementary schools starting in 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about my next adventure, and I've been with a consulting teacher since 2009 as well. So good evening, everyone.
Apologies. Thank you so much. And I see there's many people who interact in the chat box. Please feel free to drop your name, where you're from. We'd love to know who's able to join us this evening. And also the topic for this evening is really different in that we're going to hear from these wonderful colleagues who've really reached a great milestone in their careers, in that they're all esteemed colleagues and recognized. And many of you see them on the road or in workshops and really look up to them as mentors for the type of educator you want to be. And so part of that we know doesn't come easy, and able to get there, or in any profession, any career, especially in teaching, you have to have some great balance. So many times you're on here and we're giving you great words of wisdom on how to think about your classroom spaces, how to take care of students. This is all about us. So this is, what do we do to fill our cups and to just strike that work-life balance. So as we're sharing different ideas around this topic, we would love for you all to share some different ideas and topics. So this is a really interactive in the way that please listen, interact on the chat room. This is a way for us to all think about and walk away. I want you to walk away. If you walk away tonight with like, wow, that is one thing I want to do for myself this summer to take care of me and what I do, because I'm always taking care of everybody else, we will have met our goal with our time this evening. So with that, we're going to kick it off with the first question. And I'm going to start with Julie, and then others can chime in as we go through this. What strategies do you use to create that healthy work-life balance and prioritize those pieces?
So I use a strategy that I call it's reset, refresh, recommit. And for example, at the end of the day on the drive home, my brain is just like sorting through everything that's gone through the day. And so when I pull into my driveway, I purposefully reset anything that I want to remember for the next day. I type a note in my phone and then I'm done. I like zip up my bag. I come in the house and then it's time for me to refresh. So I park my phone, I change my clothes, grab some water, take a walk. And then I recommit to being where my feet are. So I recommit to being at home, being with whoever is at home that evening with me. So that's how I try to maintain the work-home balance.
Julie, I wish I could, I wish I could turn it off right when I get home. I envy you for that. I'm going to put that strategy in my head. I love that. I think that's wonderful. I was just thinking about my own work-life balance, and for me, one of the most important things is my evenings with my kids. So I really try to, when I get home, setting time to sit with my kids for homework, reading it in the evening with them, sitting by the pool over the summer, and just enjoying a couple of hours without doing anything before I jump back in and do anything for school. But I love your strategy. I think that's wonderful. But for me, it's about finding ways to connect with my kids, sitting by that pool, cooking dinner together, going out for ice cream, or even taking an evening walk.
Yeah. And so that's that balance, Allison, that I think you're talking about. And it's really about like, how do you find time for yourself? So if you keep that I wrote down the 3 R's that you said, Julie. So I am like, that is going to be my new strategy, my toolkit. But in the midst of that, if people aren't quite there yet, then making time for yourself is so important. And Allison, you kind of talked a little bit about that with reserving time with your students. Can you tell us a little bit more about other ways you make time for yourself?
Yeah, being a mom of young kids, I find it even more important that I need some me time sometimes. So some things that I do for myself, I try every day, especially in the summer when I have the extra bit of time, to really commit to going for a walk each day, whether it be first thing in the morning or right after dinner. It depends on the schedule of the day, but making sure that I get that half hour just for myself to go outside and just enjoy my neighborhood and explore. I find for me that's really refreshing and helpful, just to get outside on those beautiful summer nights and just go for a walk all by myself. And just, that's my time to reflect on my day, to kind of get myself organized for, okay, what's coming for tomorrow or wherever I am. But I make sure that I either have that 30 minutes in the morning and that 30 minutes at night, just to really take that few minutes for myself, I think is so important.
And others?
I'm right there with you, Allison. Walking is my decompression. It's my reflection. It's my processing time. I think the other thing that I try to do in the summertime is take that 10 minutes in the morning to have a quiet cup of coffee and just sit in my outside space and just kind of listen to the birds and just start off the day a little slower pace, I think is so important. And the other thing is I try to grow things. I'm much better at helping children grow than I am at helping plants grow, but I keep at it. I have that growth mindset. So I keep trying, and I get a lot of joy out of watching things grow in the summertime, whether it be flowers or hopefully vegetables. We'll see.
And so we touched upon this a little bit, but our people in our lives are so important, and we know as educators, we have those who really champion and support us and are there for us to help balance all that. How do you find, especially in the summer, what are some ways that you make the people in your life that you care about feel special and connect with those that maybe you don't have a chance to connect with throughout the school year?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that one. So, I think for me, summertime and outside of summer, a silver lining of the pandemic was we all learned how to like video chat and set up all these things. And so, and set up some routines around that. And so maintaining the monthly calls with my college friends and maintaining regular check-ins with family in those ways has helped sustain connections once kind of life has returned to normal. But another thing that I'm thinking about is like the power of saying no as we seek the work-life balance. But for me, it's a little more of like the power of saying yes. And so really as friends and family reach out to connect, just really trying to be like, yes, I haven't seen this person in a while, or yes, that's something I'm really into. So even though I might not feel that I have the energy or I don't know what's coming in 2 weeks, just like getting it on the calendar is a way that really helps me make sure I stay connected.
That's a great point, Julia, about putting it on the calendar. As I'm looking at my summer schedule, I've scheduled a few experiences with friends that I haven't gotten around to see in a while. So a friend of mine, we're going to start a pickleball class soon. So finding experiences to reconnect with people who are important to me is important.
I agree. I like to use the summer as a way, not only for me, but also for my kids to be able to have that time with their friends and connecting with families who we're close with. So, we set up once a week mom play date with all of our friends, wherever we bring all the kids to one another's house once a week, and we get the kids together, and then the moms can enjoy a luncheon or some appetizers, and just catching up and talking and just providing time. And we commit to that once a week. We know every Wednesday we're going to look forward to our time together, and I think that's really helpful to know that we have that on the calendar.
And so as we're sharing all these wonderful ideas, again, a reminder, please feel free, those of you joining this webinar, to drop some ideas in the chat about ways you take care of yourself, connect with others, because this is just a chance for us to think about how we want to spend our summer, what's going to fill us and what's going to refresh us in this work. So with that, let's get the chat box hopping with this next topic as we talk about some of our favorite things, food. So, summer's a time for cookouts, get together, all kinds of exciting things around food. So let's just talk about how food plays a role with bringing you all close together. Part of breaking bread with people is a wonderful thing. So how's food an important part? Any favorite recipes, any favorite ways food plays a role in your summer fun? And we will start this one with Beth.
Well, whenever the calendar rolls around to June, the first thing I think about food related is strawberries. So in New Hampshire, that's when our strawberry season starts. So it has always been a huge family ritual. When my kids were really little, they're 24 and 27 now, but when they were just barely walking, we would go to the fields, and I have memories and pictures of them with, covered in strawberry juice and just the fun of being outside and exploring that. So strawberries and blueberries are generally the two things that I think of. So we pick strawberries by the bucketful. Most of the time they don't make it far enough to get into a recipe. We just eat them by the bucket. Blueberries, I'm a little bit more of a cook with. We do pies, and our family favorite is blueberry buckle, which is like a blueberry coffee cake. And that is very delicious. So anything to do with strawberries and blueberries are on every summer family get together menu throughout the summer. So that's my highlight with food.
I'm going to piggyback off the strawberry and blueberry because we do the same thing and lots of memories. And our favorite thing to do is to make strawberry jam and give it to all of our friends and family. And then we look forward to the first couple of nights making delicious strawberry shortcake. That is like our absolute favorite thing in the summer to do. We do that every summer. And then we look forward to finding ways throughout the rest of the summer, once all the fresh strawberries are picked, when are we going to make more strawberry shortcake and share it with our family?
Any other ways
Well,
food plays a role?
Oh, go ahead, Julie. So I wasn't thinking of this until the strawberries, but for me, I think it would be BLTs. So my dad, ever since I was little, has grown this huge vegetable garden. And I just think of all the good fresh food that we got from there growing up. But I like always know when the tomatoes are ripe because he'll call and be like, we are ready for BLTs. And then it's like a weekly event because while they're big and red and on the vine, you just can't pass it up.
And my summertime recipe has to do with anything using Old Bay crab seasoning. So making deviled eggs and shaking the Old Bay on the deviled eggs, making hot crab dip, having crabs. Like, it's how many different ways can we put Old Bay in different things during the summertime?
So yeah, you all reminded me, I made so many connections with that. The one connection I made is I was lucky enough to really have all the berries growing up and where I lived. And we went through the strawberries, then the raspberries and the blackberries and all that. And it's one of the simplest things that I love from my childhood is just taking some fresh berries with a little bit of milk and a little bit of sugar and kind of like stirring it up and just having a nice little snack on a hot summer evening. And so, and I was like, yeah, the BLTs and the Old Bay, all this stuff is making me now want to go have a wonderful dinner or picnic somewhere. So do definitely, many of you are kind of at your computer in a place where you can Google recipes and share. So if there's anything you have, we definitely want to hear from you. So those of you joining us, if you have some recipes to drop in the chat to share for others, please Google search those and drop those links and some others can kind of check those out. Another wonderful aspect of summer is really around many people find that a time to travel because you have some extended time to go visit some different destinations. And so we'll kind of talk about some favorite destinations that you like to go to. I can kind of start. One of the things through the summertime is we try as a family to go to some type of national park or someplace just to kind of get out in nature. And so we've done kind of hiking the last few years, and there was a request for some kind of beach action. So we're going to get away to the beach, but just being able to go to different places and connect with nature in different places is really, I find really refreshing. So I'd love to hear from some ways travel plays a role in how you refresh.
For me, from when I was a kid and currently just a week up north. So I'm in Minnesota. We've got all the lakes and the North Woods, and a week up north, unplugged, swimming, hiking is just a key part of a refreshing summer for us.
I think for us, we look forward to in the summers it's a time we have like the extra time to be able to go and visit our family who lives in Massachusetts, a few hours away, and they live out on the water. So I think one of our favorite things to do is find the weekends where we can scoot up there and go hit the beach and go on the boat and just enjoy some fun in the sun. I think anything where we can get outside is just a great thing for us.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. We have a lot of family come up to where we are, and my in-laws live on a lake. So that's the meeting place of everyone. So we have relatives in Nashville and in other areas, and they just come up and we just get together and enjoy each other. So whenever summer rolls around, I want to either be on the lake or on the ocean, one or the other. I love the water. So any place that I can get access to that is what I'd like to be doing for sure.
Yeah, and I second that water theme. But I don't really have to go that far because I go to our community pool, which happens to be next to the library. So I get to go to two of my favorite places at, pretty close together. Just walk to the library, grab my book, and then go to the pool and just hang out by the pool. So that is that. But I also enjoy going to the beach as well.
Julia, any great travel? Oh, you mentioned yours, didn't you? I thought you did. I'm sorry about that. So as I mentioned, today is just about really coming together and sharing some different ideas. And so a few more questions before we kind of close up this evening and get to our lazy, hazy days of summer. I'm going to pose this question and give a little bit of think time. If you could describe what your ideal summer day would look like, what would it be? And so this is for the panel and also for the participants by chat. So those in the chat, what you can start answering.
I love this question.
Yeah.
So fun to think about, right?
Yeah. Like dream day. If
So
Allison, if you're ready to
me-
share, go for it.
For me, during the week, it would be, since I work all year round as a principal, it would be a day off and just getting up in the morning, and for me, grabbing a book and some, water, and heading out and sitting by the pool and just being able to relax, being able to put on some good music, bringing out the speaker and listening, and just kind of hanging by the pool with the kids and splashing around, doing a grilling up dinner, and just really kind of being lazy and kind of enjoying the comfort of our own home and the fact that we have a great yard where we can just be and play and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I like the home place too. I think I'm a planner, so even in the summer, I have to have kind of a plan for my day in order for me to feel secure and about what's going to happen. So, but what I love about summer is that my priorities get to shift. So I get to do the things I want to do with the people I want to do them with, the family, and making sure all of those things are fit in, and then I can put the other things that I have to in as they fit. So I love kind of setting the tone of the day with the possibility of getting lots of things that just make me happy, and being outside for sure, having a lot of time outside with family or friends, and walking or hiking or swimming. So those are definitely would be my plan.
I think my perfect day would start off going to the yoga studio. And then one of my things for this summer that I haven't quite figured out when I'm going to do it is I want to take an art class. And a friend of mine has a studio near the beach. So that's why I want to take the art class and then go hit the beach. And then, and end it with a walk.
I think my ideal, I would be at home. I like the idea of being at home. And I would sleep in without an alarm until, like, if I sleep without an alarm, it's like 11 o'clock when I would wake up. So I can sleep endlessly. So I'd probably walk to the coffee shop with my book, stay there until I was done. I love the idea of either like a yoga class or going for a long hike, but probably something by myself, some sort of exercise on my own. And then like dinner with friends, with family outside. So ideal day.
And then final question. When you look back on this summer, what is one word you want to use to describe it? And this is for everyone. I'd love to hear the chat responses too. I'll give you a little bit of think time. Someone asked if I could say that again. If in a few months from now, when you look back on your summer, what is one word you want to be able to use to describe it? And for our panelists, when you have your word, just jump in.
Rejuvenating.
It would be fulfilled. Fulfilled.
Joyful.
Restorative.
And my word would be gratitude. And I have a lot of gratitude for you all spending time here with us this evening, to see so many people interacting on our summer nights after a long school year. Some of us are still in the throng, some of us have been out. And so as we're going to wrap up this evening, and with that, I wanted, before we do wrap up, I don't know if there's anything any of the panelists want to share, if there's any last parting thoughts.
It's been fun watching the chat. There's a lot of connections being made and a lot of associations being made with the things that we've been talking about. So it's wonderful to have this extended conversation with so many people.
Yeah, and as I look at the chat, and like there's this one word that keeps popping up, which is refreshed. So 2 words to describe my summer would be joyfully refreshed.
So I'm going to leave you with this quick summer. Summer is a time for fun, to jump and play in the sun, swimming, sandcastles, slips and slides, bumper cars and thrilling rides. Summer's time for fun, to eat a hot dog on a bun, camping and amusement parks, bright fireworks in the dark. Summer's a time for fun, to blow bubbles and catch each one. Shells, sandals, and the seashore, sprinklers, picnics, and so much more. And so I hope your summers are filled with everything that you want it to be. And my gratitude is for you, for all the great work we do, and for all the educators who I know are going to give a piece of their summer to us and join us in our courses in the midst of finding ways to refresh and do all these wonderful and beautiful things. So thank you so much to the panelists, and thank you to our participants for spending some time with us here this evening.
Thank you for including us.
Yes, thank you. Take care.
Yeah.